Hi guys, this is the ASMR Nerd, and I'm very happy to finally speak to you face to face. I'm doing this because I want to say thank you for a fantastic year. The channel turned 1 last week, and I am so thrilled with how many of you I've connected with over the last year, and hopefully for some of you in some small way been able to make your life a little easier or make your day a little better. That's an incredibly rewarding thing to be able to do, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to have been able to do so. So, thank you. I also realized that I've been terribly rude, and I've never really properly introduced myself to the vast majority of you. I'm Nick. I'm a biologist, and I live in Victoria, British Columbia, which is on the very southern tip of the beautiful Vancouver Island, sort of tucked away in the very far southwest corner of Canada. When I'm not working, I'm spending time with the people I care about and practicing martial arts and playing video games and all kinds of other games, indulging in my nerdy hobbies, which you might know a bit about if you've watched some of my videos. And of course, engaging with you guys, making videos, talking with you guys in the comments on Facebook, and all that good stuff. So that's me in a nutshell, in case any of you were ever wondering. So now that we've hit this milestone of sorts, a year, which is substantial, that's really cool. What's the plan for the channel in the year ahead? Well, I've got a few ideas, and I was hoping I could share some of them with you here now. Just throw them out there and maybe get some feedback from you guys. You can let me know if you think they're good ideas, silly ideas, crazy ideas, whatever you want to say. Before I go any further, I'd also like to point out that after we have our little chat here, I'm going to be doing a little show and tell with some of my very favorite Pokémon cards. So, if you're not interested in any channel information, then just zip ahead. I'll put a link, timestamp link in the video description, so you can just hit that and skip ahead to the good ASMR stuff. But for those of you sticking around, let's talk a bit about plans for the channel. So I've found over the last year that one video a week is about what I can manage. I think I've got 55 videos up on the channel right now, 56, something like that. One of which is not mine. It's the trailer for the upcoming ASMR documentary. But that works out to about a video a week, which was my original goal. So I'm happy that I was able to meet that, and I think I'm going to keep doing that going forward. I know that a lot of you have expressed that you wish I could get videos out more often, and believe me, I would love to. there's a million things I would love to do if I had the time. I could live a whole extra life and fill it, no problem, parallel to this one. But it's the reality of life that one video a week seems to be what I can manage comfortably at this point in time. So going ahead, that's what I'm going to be doing. That being said, I'm a little bit inconsistent, to say the least, with when I release new videos. And I think that's kind of unfair to you guys. And so what I would like to try doing is formalizing a release schedule, I guess you would say, for my videos, so that it's a bit more predictable and regular for you. So my thought is that on the first Monday of a month, I'll release a new Skyrim Wander. On the second Monday of a month, I'll do a new Minecraft video. The third Monday of the month will be a new Pokemon Yellow Let's Play. And the fourth Monday of month will be your choice. So what I'll do is I'll set up a voting system, and I'll just I'll take from all of your requests, because I have a list a mile long of things that you guys have expressed interest in, which is fantastic. I love it when you do that, and please keep doing so. But as I'm sure a lot of you have realized or seen, I never really get around to them, or I very rarely get around to these requests, and I feel really bad about that, because I would love to fulfill all of those, just like I'd like to do a video every day. But again, it's not possible. So what I'll do is I'll keep adding your ideas and suggestions and requests to that list. And then I will create sort of a curated master list where I amalgamate some of the suggestions. And then I will put that up as a poll every month. And I'm going to do that on my Facebook page for this channel, I think. That seems like a decent place to do it. I know a lot of you are not friends with me on Facebook, but you are, of course, more than welcome to friend me on Facebook. And you should be able to vote there on what the final video of each month will be. So, I don't know. We'll try it out. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody voting. I don't know if it's just not going to be manageable because I've got so many requests that there'll just be too many poll options. I have no idea. But we'll give it a shot. Try it out for a couple of months. And if it's working out well, then that's how we'll keep going forward. And I think in that way, I can hopefully satisfy as many of you as possible and actually start working through some of those requests while maintaining those sort of core series that everybody seems to really enjoy. And of course, that doesn't mean that I won't release other videos as well. I'm going to still try and do one-offs every now and again, like Magic the Gathering booster pack openings. I know a lot of you really like those. I've got a booster box sitting behind me there for Born of the Gods, which I will be opening hopefully this weekend. But those aren't regular videos, not something I'm necessarily going to be doing every month. And of course, this can all change too. This is just trying it out. We'll see how it goes. So, the next thing that I'd like to talk about is money, which is often an awkward topic. I've never monetized this channel, and I haven't seen a cent from any of the stuff I've been doing, which is totally exactly what I wanted. That is by design. I made a decision early on that I wanted to keep this as a hobby. I didn't want it to start to feel like a job or an obligation, because when you feel obligated to do something, sometimes you start to resent that. And that's the last thing I want, because I do this because I love doing it. I really, really do love making these videos, and it's a really rewarding process for me. That being said, I've come to the realization over the last little while that there are things that I would like to do with this channel that aren't really feasible without spending some more money, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing so and investing in these things at this point in time, just because of where I am, financially and all that. You have to decide where to put your money and your hobbies in your life, right? But the idea is that these things would help serve you better and make the channel better. Things like I would really love to do, for instance, nature walks, real life nature walks, not just Skyrim nature walks, but I'd like to take a walk through any of the number of fantastically beautiful parks that we are graced with in this part of the world, and do kind of a real life whispered wander where maybe I take you to some really cool places, some of my favorite places to hike, and talk a little bit about some of the native plants and wildlife, local natural and cultural history, those kinds of things. And to do that, anyway, I need a microphone, a recorder that I can take with me, that's portable and that's of high quality. Something like a Zoom H4n maybe, I don't know. I've been looking into various things, but I think that one is, it's got a hot shoe mount, so you could put it on top of a camera and take it with you. I need a camera that I can take with me, because the camera I'm using right now is just a webcam, and so it is tethered to my PC. I would like to get a new stand for the microphone that I'm using right now, or not a stand at all really. I'd like to get a boom so that I can push it out of the way when I'm not using it, and then when I am using it I can position it better in such a way that it can pick up my voice so that I can do ear-to-ear whispers more easily while still really well picking up the sounds of whatever I'm handling, like a magic card package or whatever it might be. Because with the current setup, it's very challenging to get that good ear-to-ear stereo separation, as well as pick up the sounds from what I'm handling at the same time. So those are just 3 things that come to mind right now, but also I'd like to properly purchase, I know, crazy thought, properly purchase some video editing software that's better than, shameful admission here, Windows Movie Maker, which is what I typically use, which is, I mean, just as basic and plain Jane as you can get. It generally does the job for what I need, but the export quality is not very good, and I don't have a lot of control over the bit rates and things like that. So getting a proper piece of software would allow me to provide higher quality video content for all of you. Things like that. Anyway. And so then comes the question, does that mean that I'm monetizing my channel? Putting on ads? I don't want to put ads on my channel. A lot of people do, and that's fine, that's cool. But I don't like, I mean, I don't think anyone really likes when one of those, skip in 5 seconds ads pops up and it's really loud, in front of a ASMR video, and it just jars you awake or out of your tingly bliss. So that's not ideal, and the unskippable ones are even worse. So I'd like to stay away from that if I possibly could, which means that I have to find another way of facilitating, maybe making a little bit of money from this. So what I've looked at is a website called Patreon. Some of you might be familiar with Patreon. There's some other YouTube artists, and in fact other ASM artists, who have turned to Patreon recently. And I've never used it before, but it seems like a really neat platform. So the way it works is I make an account there, and then if you feel that you'd like to support me in financially anyway, what you can do is you can pledge a small amount to essentially tip me for each video that I put out. And of course that can be, 10 cents, 25 cents, $1, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then Patreon takes a small cut of that. I think it's 8% or something like that. And then I get the rest, and then I would invest that directly back into hardware and software to improve the channel and improve the quality of the content that I can provide you guys. So that's just an idea. I have no idea if that sounds reasonable, or if you're sitting there going, oh my god, I can't believe he's talking about this. I personally think it could be a great way of growing the channel a little bit and improving the quality of what I can offer in a really non-invasive, totally voluntary way. On the other hand, if you're sitting there, saying, this makes me uncomfortable, this makes me feel like he's just trying to take money from us, whatever, then say so. Say so in the comments, because I want to hear that. And if that's the case, then we will forget we ever talked about this, and I'll never bring it up again. Because the last thing that I want to do is somehow damage whatever trust you might have for me, or the relationship that I have with all of you. First and foremost, this is a channel about producing ASMR videos for you guys to enjoy and to help you out. So that's what it will always be. But anyway, I've been going on way too long here. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you have some other suggestions about how I could improve the channel, either the way I manage it or the content that I deliver to you guys, or ways that I can improve the quality of it, other platforms like Patreon or things like that that might also work, or whether you think the whole idea is bunk. So anyway, I think that's everything that I wanted to say, and I'm sorry it took as long as it did. But thank you for those of you that stuck around to actually listen to what my rambling was, and thank you all again for making the last year a fantastic one. This channel has grown to be a much more important part of my day-to-day life than I really thought it would be. And reading your comments, chatting with you on Facebook, and just interacting with you guys in general is one of the highlights of my life, really. It's really cool. It's really cool. If you want to interact with me more than you do, I do have a Facebook. I just got a Twitter account, which I've never done before, but it seems like that's what all the cool kids are doing, so I did that. And I've got Google Plus, of course, tied to this YouTube account. Oh, and I'm on Reddit. Hello, Redditors, if any of you are watching. I comment on the ASMR subreddit, which is a fantastic place to go for new videos. For those of you who might not have been there. So if you want to message me there, I check that fairly regularly too. And I'll put links to all of those various social media bits and pieces down in the video description. Anyway, thanks again for listening. I look forward to hearing from you. And it's time to look at some Pokemon cards. So here we are with some Pokemon cards. This is my base set collection, which is not yet complete. You can see I'm missing a couple of cards, but it's getting there. And that's the unlimited print run that's nearly complete. My right here. So this is the somewhere in here. Shadowless print run, which I'd like to try and collect a full set of, but those are harder to come by as they were first printing, and often they're not in very good condition. As you can see, the Charizard that I have here for first printing, you can see there has a nasty crease right down the middle of it, which is too bad. That's why I don't mind handling it with my fingers and stuff too much. It's pretty damaged already. And then I've also got some of the first edition base set collection here. And that's even a more dire situation. I don't have very many first edition cards. At least when it comes to holofoils and the rares. So, something to work on. It's a long-term goal. But let's go back to... It's tricky, I don't want to bump the camera. Here we go. Let's go back here. And I just was going to talk a little bit about some of my favorite Pokemon cards. And when I say favorite, I generally mean Pokemon cards that I have good memories associated with. I didn't play the game a lot when I was younger. I mostly just collected the cards. And so my favorite cards are those that are significant to me for some personal reason usually. So I'm just going to pop this page out here. It might be a bit loud. So my first favorite card is maybe a little bit predictable, but it is Charizard. And this card, when I was in elementary school, was my pride and joy. I got this card actually from a pack. I don't remember exactly why we were getting it, but my brother, I have a younger brother, and we collected these cards together, so we had a joint collection. And sometimes when we were younger, for good behavior or for a reward for something, our mom would get us a pack of Pokemon cards, usually one to share. And or sometimes not even a whole pack. Sometimes she would just dole out single cards, one to each of us kind of thing, which is kind of funny in retrospect, but I think it worked. We always were really excited to get a card. So anyway, one of the first packs that our mom ever bought for us, I can't remember what it was for exactly, but anyway, she opened it up and she was looking at the cards, and I guess she was gonna dole one out or something to each of us, and she gave us this look and she says, this one's shiny. Is Charizard worth anything, or is Charizard a good card, I guess is what she asked. And I remember exactly where we were. We were in the dining room of my parents' house. And my brother and I, we just both looked at her and said, "You're kidding. Like, no, you're joking." We thought she was just pulling our leg, but she didn't know anything about Pokemon cards, so she was serious, and she showed us the card and she said, "Yeah, it's a Charizard." And we just freaked out because, as any of you who collected Pokemon cards when you were younger might remember, Charizard was pretty much the rarest, most awesomest card that you could get. So that was fantastic, and that gave me a lot of elementary school playground cred, having a Charizard, and we actually managed to keep it in pretty good condition. Doesn't look like there's much damage on it at all. And anyway, I treasured that card, or we treasured that card, I should say. It's not a first edition, of course. That would be the real rare one to have these days. I think a near mint condition first edition Charizard probably goes for a couple $100 these days. Whereas this one, being from the unlimited printing, is probably, I don't know, $20 or $30 or something like that. But it had a lot of significance to me at the time. And because I have that memory, it still does have significance to me. So, what else do we have in here? Lots of cards. I mean, all of these cards are really nostalgic for me, of course. I said it before, but I just love the bright colors and the shiny foil cards. There's something deeply ingrained in the back of my mind from when I was a kid, that these cards are something of value because they meant so much to me at the time. And that's sort of still lodged in my brain back there. This is another good one. I just take the card out because it's not particularly rare at all. Charmeleon. This card, I don't know if it was this specific one, but Charmeleon was significant to me because the first Pokemon cards that I ever got were from a friend of mine who I'm still friends with, actually. And he, his parents were always the kind who would, I guess buy him a lot of stuff. I don't know, I was always a little bit jealous as a kid, growing up, that he always seemed to have the cool toys, cool video games, and it was no different with Pokemon cards. And I think maybe he took pity on me at one point, because I didn't have any Pokemon cards at that point. Anyway, he gave me some of his stubbles, and I remember that in that handful of cards, it was maybe a dozen cards or so. There was a Ponyta, there was a Charmander, there was a Rattata, and maybe a Diglett, and a couple of other cards. But the standout card for me at the time was Charmeleon, because I knew it was rarer, because it was an uncommon. It had the diamond symbol, and it also had the most powerful attack. It had the biggest numbers on it. So for quite some time, Charmeleon was my most powerful Pokemon card. And of course, I didn't really play the game much, so that didn't mean a whole lot. But when you're in elementary school, I guess, grade 4 or whatever, that's the kind of thing you care about anyway, having the bigger numbers. So Charmeleon holds kind of a special place in my memory as well. Let's see, what else do we have in here? A lot of other unlimited cards. Kakuna is, well, this one's nothing special or interesting. It's just a basic Kakuna, but if we flip ahead a bit to the first printing Shadowless collection here, and find Kakuna. There. I like this Kakuna because I've always been a lover of oddities, and sort of things that are a little bit different. And Kakuna here, the first printing Shadowless version, is an error card, actually. If you look, it's a misprint. It reads here, Cocoon Pokemon, length 2 feet 0 inches, and then length 22 pounds. Obviously, that should be weight. And in the unlimited printing, Wizards of the Coast corrected that. But the Shadowless printing and I think the first edition printing were both printed with that error. I didn't really explain in this video what the difference between Shadowless and Unlimited Edition and First Edition and all that stuff is. My very first, actually, ASMR video ever, the first one on this channel, I go into great depth, I go on at great length about the difference between those print runs. So if you're curious, I guess you can take a look there, but it's basically just the fact that the first edition ones, which have the little first edition logo over here, were in fact the first print run, a limited run, and were stamped with that logo. They were followed by what's known as the Shadowless or first print base set, which has a number of differences, but the big one is that the frame around the picture has no drop shadow behind it. And then that was followed by a series of unlimited print runs, which were the ones we were looking at previously. So anyway, I've always kind of had a soft spot for those error cards. I think they're kind of neat. And there's others as well throughout some of the first few Pokemon sets. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's probably some in here. So those are sort of the standout ones that are coming to mind as some of my favorites from base set. I like the art on a lot of other ones as well. Some really cool artwork in the base set series. Gyarados, for instance, really cool piece of artwork. A lot of the holofoil ones are just really pleasing to look at. Just really nice, bright, vivid, bold colors. So some of my other favorite cards are the promo cards. And this is, again, because of good memories that I have associated with them. I have 3 promo cards here that we'll look at first. These 3 promo cards are all from the first Pokémon movie, which some of you might remember featured Mewtwo and Mew. And I remember going to see that with a couple of my friends, and must have been 1999, I guess. And I remember we went to a really small, just kind of mom and pop theater that I think still exists, just a little ways out of my hometown. I think it's still there. But a very small little place, done up in a very sort of classic theater style. When you got your tickets, you got a promo card as well. There were 4 promo cards that were given out with admission to the first Pokemon movie, and these are 3 of them. I remember distinctly the first one I got, I think, was Dragonite here. You can see actually the stamp there. Kids WB, that's Warner Brothers, presents Pokémon, the first movie. And I remember getting this Dragonite with my ticket. I don't remember if these other ones, one of them was probably one of my younger brothers, and the other one might have been from a second time I went. I don't remember, but man, I love that movie. I would have been in grade 4? No, grade 5, something like that at the time. And that was just so cool for grade 5 Nick. So there's the Mewtwo here. There's a Pikachu. There's the Dragonite, which I really like the art, actually. It's kind of cute. I don't know. It's just a very simplistic style. It's a nice little picture. And actually he has a power here called Special Delivery, which ties into actually the Dragonite's role in the Pokemon movie. I remember he's a messenger in that movie. Or it is a messenger in that movie. And drops off something for Ash Ketchum and co. And I think the last card was an Electabuzz. But I was looking through my collection and I don't seem to have that. So that's something I'll have to try and track down at some point. I don't think any of these are worth that much. I mean, there were probably millions of them printed. But that memory associated with them going to that theater and getting these cards is a good memory. In the same vein, I think this is the last card that we're going to look at. This is Ancient Mew, I think it's called, and it's not in English. As you can tell, it's in some kind of runic script, probably something made up, I'm not sure, but it is a really fantastically unique and really quite pretty Pokemon card. And this one was distributed with the second Pokemon movie, which I think came out the following year, in 2000. And this particular card was only distributed in the first week, I believe. There were other promo cards associated with that release. There was all the legendary birds, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. And they were distributed for the entire run of that movie, but Ancient Mew was only given out in that first week. And I just really like it because it's such a striking design. The back is totally different as well. Really like that. The colors, the foil. Really pretty card. And again, I was looking through my collection and I have a couple of these, as it turns out. Again, one of them is probably my brother's. But I wouldn't be surprised if I went and saw that movie a couple of times as well. And I also remember the soundtrack from that movie, funnily enough, which I had. I have no idea where it went, but I did have it at the time. And it was full of all kinds of sort of soft rock pop stuff, as I recall. But it had one song on it by Weird Al Yankovic. And that just made my life at that age because I was big into Weird Al at that time. And Weird Al and Pokemon together, just so awesome. So, put those over here. I have a number of other interesting and varied promo cards as well. They were one-offs. They were either in magazines or they came with games or other products. And at some point, I might go through those in a video. But for now, I think I'm going to put the cards away because this video is going to be pretty long once I put both pieces together. So, thank you very much for watching. Again, for those of you that listened to my rambling and indulged me in the first part of the video, thank you. I would love your feedback on all the things that we chatted about there. Anything you have to say. And if you want to connect with me through any of those social media websites, Twitter, Facebook, anything like that, I'll leave links to all of those down in the video description. So thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. And take care.